Boxing truth here. Alright, I'm back for now. Some people getting impatient, want an upload of a video, so here it is. First one in about a few months. Been busy, so, this ain't my thing no more. I got other income streams. This is really just pretty much for fun. I have some access. I can get interviews if I want. But I'm doing other things right now, so I'm not really focused on this channel. This is pretty much something I just do for fun when I feel like it. If I feel like it. So y'all can still stay subscribed. Y'all can still, continue to watch some of my old videos. But I won't be putting out any new content on a daily basis, if any. It will most likely be every other weekly basis, monthly basis. Whenever something piques my interest, I will talk about it. So there's been some things that's going on in the boxing world that have interested me. I didn't talk about the Canelo fight because the fight sucked. It was boring as fuck. Canelo, I expect a lot more out of him in that fight. But, Jacobs is a survivor. That's what he does. He's a survivor, and he survives in that ring. Gets gift decisions, but he somehow survives, even against Triple G, even against Canelo. Sees the final bell, but doesn't get the victory because he simply didn't deserve it. So, this past Saturday, a big upset occurred. I'm not completely shocked of what happened. I'm surprised of the result that Ruiz was able to knock Anthony Joshua out. But I'm not totally shocked at the result. I did expect a good fight out of Ruiz. I thought he was a proper opponent. I thought he was a very good opponent for Joshua, considering on short notice, 6-week notice after the Miller situation. But going into the event, when Miller was the opponent, I thought Miller was a legitimate threat. I thought he was possibly going to upset Joshua. I thought it was definitely on the cards. And when Ruiz was switched to the opponent, I knew Ruiz is a good fighter. He's pretty much he's been the true WBO champ for the past 3 years. He's undefeated, even though he has a official loss on his record. We all know he beat Joseph Parker, but Joseph Parker ain't shit. And in that fight, Ruiz didn't really show the extra initiative. He didn't show that extra energy that he really wanted it. Even though I felt he beat Parker, I was disappointed in his activity in the fight. I was disappointed in his spurts of fighting. He was just not showing that he really wanted to be heavyweight champ at that time. He should have had a more emphatic, clear-cut victory instead of being this back and forth type fight where Ruiz got the edge simply because of his better punches and combinations. He just did better in that fight, but he was lazy in that fight. He didn't let his hands go enough to really make it clear cut, considering he was fighting on Joseph Parker's home soil. So in this fight, he has the opportunity of a lifetime, confident as hell, goes in there and takes chances and finally shows his desire to be heavyweight champ. Now Joshua cooperated. He gave Ruiz that opportunity. Now some people are pissed off. Fanboys are pissed off about the Wilder Joshua fight being kind of ruined. It's not really ruined though. I said this to you guys. If you've been following my channel for the past 4 years, that because of the risks and type of challenge that Joshua takes, he's bound to lose. He's not a protected fighter like Deontay Wilder. There's not going to be setups. These are real fights that he's taking. He's been taking real fights ever since he became champion at a very early stage in his career. He's not fully developed. He's got some problems with his fluidity. He can be chinned. He can get hurt. He can get flattened. But he's got heart. And he showed it in that fight this past Saturday night, even though some people want to say he quit. But Anthony Joshua simply got caught in this fight. That's why he lost. Not because he had a panic attack before the fight. Not because he got supposedly KO'd in sparring. He simply got caught, and the better man won that night. Joshua was unable to execute the finish when he had Ruiz hurt. Sometimes scoring a knockdown could be the absolute worst thing for a fighter. It could make you forget how you set up that punch. And if you looked at that sequence where he knocks Ruiz down, Joshua's punches are fluid. They're flowing in combination. Drops him with a 3-punch combo, finishing with a left hook. Puts Ruiz on the seat of his pants. And then he, obviously feeling the pressure because Wilder made a statement against his leftover in Dominic Brazil. So Joshua was trying to perform the same outcome against a much higher quality opponent, a much better opponent, a much more dangerous opponent in Andy Ruiz, who's pretty much the true WBO king since 2016. Joshua was fighting a heavyweight champion this past Saturday night. He was just an uncrowned champion. It was a very good fight on paper, but I felt Ruiz was just going to simply be too lazy, not active enough, and I thought he would lose a 12-round decision. I really thought it will go the distance because Ruiz has a good chin, and I wasn't sure if he was going to let his hands go enough to really put Joshua in danger or in enough danger to get him out of there. But Joshua cooperated. He gave Ruiz the openings. He gave Ruiz the opportunities when he tried to finish him off in that third round. The left hook, counter left hook from Ruiz, pretty much ended the fight. It hurt Joshua, hits him in behind the ear, fucks up his equilibrium, and he's never able to recover. He was pretty much incoherent after that third round. Didn't know where he was asking questions of what the fuck happened in his corner, what punch he got hit with. And when the fight was stopped, he was badly hurt still. He didn't know where he was. He got up, showed heart, but he just couldn't move. His body was dead, even though his mind wanted to continue. Andy Ruiz proved that he's a very good fighter. He's a world-class operator. He's one of the top heavyweights in the world. He's proved it since 2016 when he should have been crowned the WBO king. And now he's the unified heavyweight champion of the world, as he was able to capitalize on the carelessness of Joshua as he was trying to finish Ruiz off in that third round. And he was able to counter him, and every time Joshua would open up, Ruiz was able to punch with him and catch him in between exchanges. Joshua just didn't fight a smart fight. He did okay the first 3 rounds, 2.5 rounds prior to the getting knocked down twice against Ruiz. But this type of result brought energy into the sport. Everyone's talking about Andy Ruiz. I mean, it was a great night of boxing. It was a great fight. It was a stunning fight. And it's not like Joshua and Wilder were any close to fighting each other anyways. So this throws a little curveball to the plans. It's not like Wilder had any immediate plans to fight Joshua anyways. And who cares? I mean, Wilder's a fraud right now. He lost to Fury. So Joshua got beat. Wilder got beat. The true champ is really Tyson Fury. And you have the number 2 guy in the division, Andy Ruiz, who just dethroned the unified champ, who could be arguably number 1, but because of Fury's claim, beating Klitschko first and also beating Deontay Wilder, he has that spot. He's the top heavyweight in the world. He's the number 1 heavyweight. You can't take that away from him. Now, going forward, Joshua has an opportunity to bounce back. He has an opportunity to show that he can bounce back, that he can mentally overcome this, because this is what it's going to be about. Anything can happen in a rematch, because what happened Saturday night was that Joshua got caught, and if he didn't over pursue for the kill, it could have been a very much different outcome that night. Joshua will watch the tape. He will know what the fuck he did wrong, and he's going to have to mentally overcome this. it's going to be a mental battle, nothing physical. It's going to be a mental battle if he can regain the confidence that he can beat Ruiz, but he has to fight a smarter fight. Can't exchange with him. He can't fight on the inside with him because Ruiz is much superior on the inside, and he's a better counter puncher. He's got to tame Ruiz from the outside, pop the jab, keep on the move, throw 1 or 2 punches at most. You can't throw these combinations on the inside against counter punchers because you're bound to get caught. He's going to have to improve the game plan. He's going to have to fight a lot smarter if he wants to win a rematch. He's going to have to stink out the joint if he wants to beat Ruiz in a rematch. I don't see him knocking him out unless he takes chances and puts himself at risk to getting KO'd again. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Joshua if the rematch happens, and I'm not 100% sure that it will. Joshua might have a change of mind. He might not pursue the rematch. I mean, Mike Tyson did pursue the rematch with Buster Douglas. This could be another Rockman Lewis situation where Joshua regains the throne, regains the belts, but he has an opportunity to show that he can overcome this, that he can bounce back, and that he'll be another great heavyweight champ to regain the title. This is going to be his opportunity to show his true character in that ring. We'll see what happens in the coming months. Congrats to Andy Ruiz. Great fighter, great fight, great moment. Just an awesome night of boxing. Wish I would have put some money on him, but I just didn't see it. I knew he'd give Joshua a good fight, but sometimes upsets happen in boxing when you least expect it. And this is one of those nights. But these type of outcomes just makes the sport exciting again. Another player in the heavyweight division, a rematch to look forward to, while Fury fights Tom Schwartz and Wilder fights a pointless rematch. I mean, those guys are not giving us the fights that we truly wanted to see. I mean, Joshua, he gave us the fight that people wanted to see, the Jarrell Miller fight. That was the most anticipated heavyweight fight of this year, of all the heavyweights. And he possibly would have gotten beat had he fought Jarrell Miller. And even then, the fight gets canceled, and he gives you Andy Ruiz, the very best replacement opponent that you can get. And everybody, well, in boxing circles, were satisfied with the opponent because people that know boxing know that Andy Ruiz can fight. The question was whether he could get inside and negate Anthony Joshua's reach to land his thudding blows to the body and head. But Joshua cooperated. He allowed Ruiz to get inside. He allowed Ruiz to counter him simply because he wanted to make a big statement, and it cost him. He will learn from this, and he can bounce back. He can turn the tide in the rematch if he knows what went wrong in this first fight and just fights a much different, much smarter fight the second time around. The bookies will still have Joshua the favorite, and it's for a reason. He got caught in this fight, plain and simple. Ruiz was the better man on that night, but we'll see what happens in a rematch. Anything can go down in a rematch. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.